Hey guys, what's up? Cardfight here, and today I'm here with a Luquier Silver Thorn deck profile. So, I mentioned in yesterday's video that I was going to make one, and so, here it is. If you guys also didn't get it, I didn't actually play this with this deck all that much because I didn't really have time to do it, but I decided to put this up anyway because I wouldn't have time to do so otherwise. So, for the starting Vanguard, I'm still running Emil. So she's the starting Vanguard from BT15, so she's quite an old card, but I really like her because she helps you compress your deck as well as getting useful cards in the soul. I'm not running the new engine with the new starting Vanguard and Luquier, but yeah, I don't really think that engine is reliable. This one is a bit more reliable for me, so I'm running one of her for the grade 3s. We are running 4 of the new Luquiers. So she is basically, she has the name as the old one, but she has a new skill and a brand new artwork. So what she does is activates from the soul, limit break 4, soul lost 1 silver thorn card, and during your main phase, at the beginning of your main phase, you can pay the cost and then call this card to a rearguard circle. And then during this turn, this card gets plus 3,000 power, and then at the end of turn, move this card back into the soul. So she works a little differently than the old one, very differently actually. And the second skill is a Stride Break skill. During your turn, if you stride a Silver Thorn unit on top of this card, then your Vanguard gets a new skill, and the new skill is whenever a Silver Thorn unit gets called to the call from the soul to a rearguard circle, then during that turn, that unit gets plus 3,000 power. So obviously, she only works. Her Stride Break only works with Silver Thorn units, but it's fine because a lot of times you're going to use either the old Luquier or the new Luquier. And then when you use the new cards, or you use non-Silver Thorn units, then you probably don't need to get that extra power anyway. It would be nice, but it's fine. But yeah, her Stride Break skill actually does help you hit some pretty decent numbers, so it's nice. Next, we are running 4 Venus Luquier. Mainly, she's just here for the Luquier name. You can run one of the. You can tech in one of the old, or no, not old. One of the new commons. I think it's a common, the one that helps you search for cards. I personally don't really like it because if I do, if I am unlucky enough to ride into that, then cards that require the Luquier name won't be able to proc. So I'd rather not. And this is a waifu deck, so max out the waifus. Am I right? Alright, so next we are running 3 Clemens. You can take this out for Marika if you want. Clemens is a little better for my playstyle. I don't usually for this deck you can play really aggressively early game, but I think when you hit grade 3 and you have Clemens and then you have some other cards in your soul, you can potentially loop better than you can with Marika, because Marika costs Counterblast and sometimes that doesn't work. And he also, Clemens is a 11k attacker, so that kind of edges out over Marika a bit. But Marika is live at grade 2, so there's pros and cons there. Pros for her is that she's live grade 2. Con is that she costs Counterblast. Pro for him is, or her, it's probably a him. I don't know. But anyway, pro for this card is that it's 11k attacker and it doesn't cost Counterblast. Con is that it's not live until you ride a Luquier Vanguard. So you can try running both, but I'd rather run some other stuff instead, like 4 Upright Lions. This card is still a pretty solid card, helps you build up numbers, and yeah. But with the introduction of Acute Dragon, you don't have to solely rely on the Upright Lions. So we are running 4 IQ dragons. So what this effect does is whenever when this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, if you have a Luquier Vanguard, then this card gets plus 2,000 power. So it becomes 11k. And then the second skill is whenever your other unit is placed from rearguard circle to soul, then this card gets another 2,000 power. So it does stack. So it's kind of like, sort of like Upright Lion, except he gets power when he's called out and when other stuff is called. He only gets plus 2k though, while Upright Lion gets plus 3k. So both have their uses. Yep. Alright, next for Great Ones, we're running one of the new, probably, I really like this card. This is probably one of the new best Great Ones for this deck. Actually, it is probably the best Great One for this deck. So we're running 3 Saloons. I want to run 4, but there's too many other cards I want to run, so I'm running 3. So what she does is Generate 1, put this card into your soul, and then choose a card from your hand and discard it. At the end of the battle, this card boosted a Vanguard. You may pay the cost. Either you choose one of your Silver Thorn units in your soul and call it to a rearguard circle. And then the second skill is it activates in the soul, counterblast 1, whenever your unit with Silver Thorn and its card name is placed in a rearguard circle from your soul. Then you can call this card out to a rearguard circle if you have a Luquier Vanguard. So basically what this means is after you finish boosting your Vanguard and attack, you can put this card into soul, ditch one, and then call another unit out. And then since you call another unit out and this card's in soul, you can trigger her second effect, which you can call out for another counterblast 1, so you can put it in that column, so you get a fresh new column. Of course, you won't be able to practice skill again because it only works when it's boosting a Vanguard, but it's fine because she served her purpose. If this card activates whenever it's just boosting whatever, then this card will be way too good. But boosting the Vanguard kind of restricts the amount of attacks that you can do, but it still lets you multi-attack, so it's still a pretty solid card. Also works really well with the new Grade 4 Luquier. So yep, and we have 3 Zelmas. So Zelma is another very solid Grade 1 for this deck. So basically she's purple trapezes, except she works with the Silver Thorn units. And yeah, I also want to run her at 4, but I have to make space for some other card. You can technically take these 2 out to run one more Saloon and one more Zelma, but I'm running her just because it makes soul charging a little bit more consistent. This deck doesn't really have a proper way to soul charge. Yeah, you can use what's her face, Emil, but you don't want to always waste your calls to call her out and soul charge and search and stuff. So you're probably gonna use her once or twice per game, but calling her out gives you a solid booster and lets you look at the top 2 and then soul charge 1. So you're one of those cards. So it's not bad, but you don't need as much, or I should be saying I don't have much space to run as many as I did before. So only running 2 of these, but she's definitely still a pretty good card. And next we're running 2 Stride Fodders because you do need the Stride Fodders, but they are not Silver Thorn, so yeah, kind of sad that it didn't give Silver Thorn Stride Fodders, but work with what we have. It's still fine. For Purple Guards, we're running 4 of the old Silver Thorn Purple Guard, or 4 of the Silver Thorn Purple Guard. They don't really have a new one. So yeah. Triggers, we're running 4 of the triggers with effect. So what this does is put this card to the top of your deck. If you have a Luquier Vanguard, then you can choose a card from your soul with Luquier, with Silver Thorn, and call it out, and then shuffle your deck. So she kind of replaces herself for a card in her soul. You don't get a soul charge though, so even though she replaces it, she goes back in the deck, which might be good if you want to put your triggers back in there. But again, she doesn't help soul charge, but it's fine. And we're running 4 of the old crit, 4 draws, and 4 heals. Not running stands in this deck because don't really need it. Some people might debate that. Stands are really good without Brightline, and they are. But if you're playing these, then you don't really need them because the first column you attack with will go away anyway, so stands won't work with those. So let's go into the G zone. So we're running 4 of the new Venus Luquier. So what she does is generate 3. Choose 2 of your Silver Thorn Rearguards and put them into your soul. When this card attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, this card gets extra critical. And then the second skill is, once per turn, kind of lost 1. G-flip 1 card with the same name as this card. And if you have a Silver Thorn Heart, you can choose a Silver Thorn unit in your soul and call it. So basically, her skills from face value don't look very strong, but it combos quite alright with the rest of the deck. So basically, with the first skill, you attack with her, or you attack with a column first, and then you attack with this column, and then you probably want her boosted by a saloon. And then, you know, like this. And then whoops, not like this. Something like this. And then you know, attack. So these go in your soul. And then after you do a thing, this card goes back in your soul. And then you call out a unit. Maybe you want to call out a Zelma to kick something in. Maybe you attack with both columns. That works too. And then after that, call out Zelma. And then maybe you kick out a something else. Maybe you want to kick this out. And then you can kind of lost 1 to call this card back out. So then you won't have the best numbers, but you'll be able to do some you can do more attacks. Or you can just, you know, call this out and then call Saloon out, and then you'll have a decent column too. So yeah. And then if you have these on the field, like for example, you already did all your soul charging stuff, like you're juggling during main phase, this card will be pretty big. And then you call 2 more out, so this card adds onto the power, and then you just attack again. So you hit for pretty big numbers. Again, you can run stands. I just don't prefer it because they're not super reliable, unlike some other multi-attack decks they have out there. So I'd rather run the extra criticals. So if my opponent happens to no guard my Luquier, then they'll be screwed if I double crit. Yeah, I mean, yes. I don't know, I just don't really like running rainbow triggers, and I don't want to not run draws in this deck, so. Anyway. Next we're running 2 of the Mystic Luquier, Mystic Luquiers. So this one's from Fighter's Collection. Her skill is choose 2 of your Rearguards and put them in your soul, and then you have a Luquier Heart, you can soul charge 2, and then choose 2 of your Silver Thorn in your soul and call them into separate Rearguard circles. So she helps you soul charge. Oh god, my voice cracked. So she helps you soul charge a bit, but you know, soul charging 2 does help, and you do run a lot of Silver Thorns in the deck, so you're probably gonna hit something, unless you hit 2 triggers, then that's kind of sad. But yeah, I'm running 2 of these because you want to make space for some other stuff. So running 1 Fairfield, just because you have options to use this. You can use it as a finisher too if you want. Yeah. 1 Harry. 3 Millward. Millward does come in handy sometimes. It gives you some of that unhit pressure, especially if you in some really awkward situations where you can't quite finish off your opponent. For example, your opponent's at 3, and you can't go into her for some reason. And you don't want to use these because these are mainly used for finishing. And for example, you want to put some pressure on opponent's hand, and this card can't give your opponent pressure, so you're just going to use Millward, and that's perfectly fine. So running 3 Millward. If you want to run 2, that's fine too, but 3 just gives you more flexibility, I guess. G-Guard's running 1 Dismal to protect your Outright Lions and Acute Dragons. 2 of the ones that helps you select and charge. And then running 2 of the rare one from the new set. So the reason running 2 of these is because if you happen to soul charge a Perfect Guard, you can actually use this to call it back out and guard with it. And since this does not restrict you to be calling this from your hand, you can use this and it'll be perfectly fine. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Cardfight, and I'll see you guys there. Bye!